Now, during these high school years, I'm assuming you started to get into music at least, or thinking about it, and poetry and writing. How deep were you into the music at, let's say, like 11th, 12th grade?
I started recording music when I was in the 12th grade, but prior to that, I was always writing poems, and actually I was already writing raps and I was already freestyling, but I had not recorded anything. In my neighborhood in Highland Park back in the day, there was a lot of freestyling going on. People would just freestyle. We would always be at like ditching parties and flyer parties and gigs, and people would freestyle as part of the culture right there. So I was kind of just getting into it like that. But I remember when I was a senior in high school, that was when people started having home studios. You know, now everybody has a home studio. Everybody records music, which is great. I'm all for it. But I only say that to say that when I was in the 12th grade, it was not common. But I found my friend's uncle started making music on MySpace, and I told my friend, it was one of my graffiti friends, we used to do graffiti together. I was like, oh my God, ask your uncle if he could record, if I could go to his studio and have all this music I want to record. I promise it's dope. I just want to record. And he asked his uncle, and his uncle was like, okay, sure, like, I'll give you a chance. And so that's how I first recorded my first songs. It was with this guy named Jay Peso. Shout out to Jay Peso. He took me to the IE, and it was all the way in the IE, and I was a kid. I didn't have a car. I didn't have nothing. So we would drive all the way out to the IE. I would bring like some of my homegirls with me. And I remember we would just like be drinking 40s on the way there and like doing dope on the way there. Like we would just get all fucked up. And then by the time we got there, I was lit, ready to make some music, you know. And the first time I recorded a song there, they didn't know who I was. So they were like, okay, you're gonna record a verse, write the verse here with us, record it, and then we'll see if we fuck with you. And then if you do, we fuck with you, you could be in our label. And the label's called Section 8. It was just like a little, it was nothing really. It was just their studio right there. And I remember when I recorded my first song, they were all like, oh shit, what the hell? Like, and they were all a little bit older than me too. So they were like, oh shit, like she's like this young girl. And so that's how I first started making music. And so I don't know how many songs I recorded over there in that studio. I want to say it was like around 10, but honestly, I don't even have like half of them anymore. But that was how I first started. And I would just rip beats. I would steal beats because it was also before everybody was a producer. And so I would just steal beats. Whatever beats I liked, I would steal them.
Now, at some point, your brother becomes your main producer. So he didn't start off with you in high school?
No. So when I was in high school, my brother and I, we didn't really kick it. He's my brother, I love him, but we always bumped heads, like since we were kids. And so even in high school, we never got along, and we wouldn't really hang out. So he wasn't really like, even like listening to my music, he didn't even hear it at all. He didn't really care. And so then when we moved to Seattle, when Louden got out of juvenile hall, Louden was about to turn 18. And I told my mom, if we don't move out of Highland Park far, my brother's about to go to the big boy jail because he's about to turn 18. A lot of my friends were starting to go to the big boy jail because we were all turning 18. They were going to prison now. It wasn't fucking a month in camp anymore. You know, it was like getting real, and people were dying now, you know, and it was getting really crazy. So my mom decided to move to Seattle. She just packed up her whole life and left in hopes of saving her kids' lives. Like, that's really what was happening. And I was out of control at the time too. I was so out of control that my mom kicked me out of my house. She kicked me out of my house. So I was like living on the streets for a little bit. I was like just like couch surfing, like just doing what I had to do to just have a roof over my head. And anyway, so she moved, and then I decided that I was gonna move with them because we ended up getting on good terms again, my mom and I. Moved back in her house, and then I decided that I wanted to support Louden on his new like venture. And also I wanted to change my life too because it was getting really crazy for me too. I actually even started going to jail, and I wasn't like in there for months. I would just be there for like a couple days or whatever, just for stupid shit. But it was just like getting out of control. My life was completely out of control, and so I felt like I think this might be good for me too, for a fresh start. So that's why we moved up there. And then the reason I bring all that up anyways is that when Louden got out of juvenile hall, him and my dad drove all the way up to Seattle from LA. And then my dad played my brother my music. He's like, you know, your sister's making music, right? He's like, oh, I heard about it, but I haven't really heard it. And he played it in the car for him. And he's like, oh, it's cool. He's like, well, I actually bought you guys a piece of equipment so you can record her when you go up there. And he was like, oh, okay, fuck it. We don't have anything else to do. So when we got up there, my brother started recording me. And we didn't have shit up there. All we had was each other. We had no friends, nothing, no car, no money, no nothing at all, you know, and so we had just only time to make music. So that's when my brother started recording me. After he recorded my first project, or maybe the second project too, he started making beats because he just wanted to. He was like, I think maybe I could make a beat for you or something. And I was like, yeah, why not? Try it. Like, we're just fucking around, you know, and he started making beats. And then slowly, then only half of my mixtape was stolen beats. Then we did our first whole album produced by him eventually, you know, and now we're about to drop my 13th album. It's called No Chaser, and he produced the entire thing. We both executively produced it, but he made all the beats on the project.
That's amazing because the way you tell it, he really wasn't thinking about being a producer at all.
No.
It just happened up in Seattle?
It just happened. Like, we didn't go to school for music. We didn't go to college for business, nothing. Like, this is all like from the ground up, like just hands-on experience. And I'm not against college or anything like that, but that's not our story. We didn't do that.
So yeah, while I was listening to your music a few years ago, I was always hear Louden. And I was like, who is this guy? And for a minute, I kind of thought he was your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And the way I found out he was your brother, the homeboy from Highland Park, was like, oh no, they're family. So that's when I realized, because I don't think they're anywhere, maybe now, but back in 14, 15, 16, you guys weren't saying brother and sister.
Yeah. I mean, we still don't really say it. I mean, it's not that we're hiding it. We just don't really like think about saying it. I know we should say it more because it's really cool, but I don't know. It's just, we're just us, you know, like it's just how people see me like, oh, Reverie, you know, but when I look in the mirror and in my personal life, I'm just Jordan. Like, I don't see me like that, you know, and so I guess that's how we see it. It's just my brother. But yeah, a lot of people think we're like married, or even when we go to the airport too, because we have the same name. If we're doing like a show, we're traveling together, like, oh, are you guys husband and wife? We're like, no, we're brother and sister. I guess we don't really look alike that much, you know? If you know we're brother and sister, then you could kind of see it more, but we don't really look alike to the point that people know right off the bat.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description. And thanks for watching StreetTV.net.